Today we're going to be talking about The Foreigner, so stay tuned. Welcome to The Real Review, sponsored by Parametric and Lazy Ape Studios, where you get the latest happenings, real thoughts, and perspectives in the world of film and television. I'm here with Matt. Who am I? Hey.
What?
Do you not get the reference?
I did not get that.
That is a Jackie Chan film.
Oh,
from
okay.
earlier in his American crossover career.
Oh,
called Who Am I? There's a famous scene-ish where he gets up on this light pole in the middle of nowhere.
It's not famous enough, apparently.
No, yeah, and he just goes, Who am I? So yeah.
But I am here with Joel Can't Get Enough Inhumans Cunningham.
Oh, come on, really? Why do you always throw these bad labels on me? You're always claiming that I'm enjoying these horrible projects and films.
It's a temporary label.
It's a temporary label
until the next podcast.
But that one hurts. That one's right in the
there.
So,
yeah. That's all good.
People will have to listen in and check out our Tube Talk on our podcast. They can find out what I actually think about the Inhumans, which I guarantee I can get enough and have maybe had enough.
Yes.
So, but yeah, more to come.
We all have.
Awesome. So, here on the podcast, welcome to it, and the vidcast as well. We'd like to do a little bit of a sort of a East meets West kind of a review style here. Matt's more of a fan type perspective. I tend to be more of the critical analysis and breakdown guy.
Yeah.
I like to say good cop, bad cop sort of a thing.
Yeah, sure, that works.
That's a good way of putting it. So we bring that together to give you our real thoughts and real perspectives. Matt, in the beginning and the upfront, why don't you give our listeners and our watchers a couple good ways to get connected before we get into things too much here?
Connect with us, realreviewmedia.com. You can also link to all of our social media links at Twitter at Real Review Media, Instagram at Real Review Media, Facebook.com/Real Review Media. Also, YouTube channel. Got a lot of trailer reaction reviews and the vidcast obviously up on there as well, which is youtube.com/The Real Review. And that's how you can do that.
Awesome. Well, thank you for doing that, Matt. That was beautifully done. So why don't we then just get right into this?
Yes.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
We've got one film that we both had a chance to see over the weekend. It is a Jackie Chan film. That's kind of where my name tied into. Yeah. But in a sense, I don't know how much of this you could actually call a Jackie Chan film.
No, it was more of a Pierce Brosnan film.
Yes, much more of a Pierce Brosnan film. So we're talking about a film called The Foreigner, and there was another big release, a Blumhouse production, which neither of us unfortunately got a chance to see. It's doing big things though.
Yeah, Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day.
I will probably check it out. I've been a Blumhouse fan for a little bit now. There's every now and then they'll kind of throw out garbagey stuff. Yeah. Especially around the January timeframe. But yeah, that Happy Death Day is getting generally positive reviews.
Yeah, they're killing it right now with their films
this weekend. So
their big thing is low budget, but wide release, and I think they've turned over. What was it was like 61 million or something like that they've made in return from Happy Death Day or something.
I'm not sure about that. I just know that if you look at
probably not that high.
This past year, you have movies like Split and Get Out that have really kind of
box office mojo. That's
been there. Yeah, been there, race winners.
There you go. So, but anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, I totally diverted into a different film.
It's all
We're
good.
going to be talking about The Foreigner. The Foreigner, this film is the synopsis for it is a humble businessman with a buried past seeks justice when his daughter is killed in an act of terrorism. A cat and mouse conflict ensues with a government official whose past may hold clues to the killer's identities. Dun, dun, dun. It's directed by I'm sorry, that's the writer. Directed by Martin Campbell.
There you go.
Written by David Marconi. Stars Jackie Chan as Quan. Pierce Brosnan as Liam Hennessy. I don't know why. I'm just doing accents.
You said
different
Brosnan.
Ways. Yeah, I'm just doing different ways. I'm trying to embrace different styles and dialects. That's what I'm doing here, Matt. Don't judge me.
Okay.
Ray Fearon as Bromley. Stephen Hogan as Christy. You've got Michael McAlhalton as Jim Cavahan. And then a couple other people in there. Katie Lang as Fang. Rory Fleck. I don't know. I'm not going to go through everybody, but you got some pretty. I think the biggest names we could definitely see in this are Pierce Brosnan and Jackie Chan.
Yes,
that's the big poster. That's the big grab for a lot of people, especially with Jackie Chan not having been in a lot of action movies at all, or in much of anything besides cartoons. Kung Fu Panda and stuff.
Yeah.
So, what were your thoughts?
I want to start with you. Okay.
Okay.
Just kind of initially. I liked all the stuff that had Jackie Chan in it.
Okay. There were some good. I wouldn't say great, but there were some good fights.
Yes.
That he kind of was engaged in. And whenever he went hand to hand, even being, I don't know, I think he's like in his 60s now?
Yeah. He's like 60, mid-60s.
Yeah, he still had that Jackie Chan-esque, kung fu style, which was great.
There was times where where he has some like super powerful kicks. Like he would
that was a
kick and
big
the
thing.
dude would just go flying.
Yeah, he did a
against
lot
the
of
wall.
those drop kicks, but it was like he would like propel them with his whole body, drop on his back, and those are pretty great. Yeah,
Yeah, those are pretty cool. I like seeing that. He also wasn't like flawless. He would get beat up a little bit himself. You know?
And I will say for Jackie Chan, that's kind of normal. Like in most of his sort of action movies, he was a producer for this, so I'm guessing he at least had input into probably the fight choreography. I mean, he's been doing that for his whole life. In cinema almost. So I'm guessing that he probably had a lot of input there, but he's kind of known for that. I mean, if you think of any kung fu movie he's been in, he pretty much always gets at least one or two really good punches to the face. A lot of painful like things slamming into him.
And a lot of time that's played up for comedy, but
this time it's much more serious. And I would say there were moments where that was stretching the realm of believability to me a bit, which is tough.
Okay,
Sorry, but keep going.
Other than that, I really enjoyed Pierce Brosnan's performance.
Okay.
Probably the best I've seen from him in a long time. It's probably because I don't see a lot of Pierce Brosnan movies anymore.
both him and Jackie Chan, I don't remember maybe the last time I saw them in cinema on screen as like acting somebody out. I know
Other
Pierce
than
Brosnan,
like Kung Fu Panda.
Right. I mean, he's done voiceover. I don't know about Pierce Brosnan.
He did in Django too.
He did in Django as well. Yeah. So Pierce Brosnan, I remember seeing him in, what was that movie? I can't think of the name of it.
GoldenEye.
No. Yeah. Well, I saw him in that. No, it was one where he was an assassin and he was kind of like going out of it. Like he was like retiring.
Like dating somebody?
No, he was like trying to stop being an assassin. And there was some...
But he just can't quit it?
Yeah. They're trying to kill him. And yeah, that came out. I'll look it up, but keep going.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I loved Pierce Brosnan in GoldenEye. And in this movie...
Is that all you're going to say about Pierce Brosnan?
No, he did good. He did good.
Mamma Mia! I saw him in Mamma Mia.
I didn't
That's
see
the one.
Mamma Mia.
Yeah, you probably didn't miss much.
So I just think of the Queen song every time. Anyways, so I thought he was really good as far as just acting performance goes. He had some really good intense moments.
Yeah.
That I thought was really that were really well done. I was just surprised. I guess I haven't really seen him in that many things, so I didn't have a lot to compare him to.
Yeah.
But I thought he did a good job.
November Man.
November Man,
the movie that he was the assassin in. That's the last one I've seen him in.
I never saw that one.
Yeah, he's done stuff since then.
As you can see, I've seen GoldenEye.
Yeah.
I think that might be the only Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Well, I did see the other James Bond movies after that, but I didn't think they were good. So
right, that was the beginning of when the film started to get really cheesy.
But I loved GoldenEye.
I loved GoldenEye too, but that was like the beginning of it. You know, it wasn't.
Yeah.
That was a good movie. I enjoyed it, and of course, the video game, which is famous, but. I think that was like when they started to get more on the cusp of like, how can we just get so ridiculous? I'll never forget that scene. I think it was like, was it Die Another Age of Tomorrow? I don't remember, but it's the one where he's surfing.
Age of Extinction.
No, it's not Age of Extinction.
I don't know.
I'm not talking Transformers here. There's one where he surfs and he's James Bond and he's like, da da, and he's like surfing down I was like,
I don't know.
Yeah, they kind of lost me after that.
So that wraps up the biggest things that I liked about it.
Okay. Let me say, so I will say as well, as far as positives for me.
Yeah.
I did think the cinematography was decent. I didn't think it like blew me out of the water.
No.
But it had a good style to it, and you could definitely tell that they weren't just... I especially liked they didn't make overusage of the shaky cam effect. It was there intentionally and at the right moments, but for the most part, it felt everything that was on screen felt fitting and it felt right, and the action was all well shot and well choreographed, well lit, and so the fight scenes and things like that were good, and they were viscerally exciting, and I think that's the cinematography and the fighting kind of saved the film in a lot of ways. If that hadn't been there, then I wouldn't have really enjoyed it very much. Yeah. So why don't you speak a little bit more to your negatives then?
Yeah, let's do that, because I think maybe it just kind of pulled a bait and switch almost a little bit in the way that it was marketed. I felt like I was going to be in there for more of an action thriller kind of a thing, more of like along the lines of a Taken or something like that. But it ended up being more of a political thriller, where Pierce Brosnan, I'm pretty sure, had more screen time than Jackie Chan's character did.
For sure. Yeah.
And
I counted the minutes, and no, I'm kidding.
Yeah. You're like, I was taking, readings.
I was exactly,
But I, just for the most part, it was slow, definitely slow in some areas. I had a hard time. I'm not going to spoil anything here, and I don't even know if we're going to get it into a spoiler section later on.
Short one, maybe.
Maybe
really
very, very short. But
yeah.
there's the motivations why, because Pierce Brosnan his character was in this weird gray area,
right,
where he wasn't being completely portrayed as either bad or good.
Yeah,
and I had a hard time like you have to have a bad guy.
Right.
You need to have a bad guy,
right.
and they did.
Sort of.
They had like
kind
a group,
of like right.
So
they weren't that important. Like they were important in the plot, but they weren't that significant in the story.
Right. They focused too much on Pierce Brosnan.
Right. So they end up focusing so much on Pierce Brosnan, and I was right there with you. That was one of the biggest issues I had. Beyond the fact that, like you said, it felt like a political sort of almost espionage type film, like a mystery suspense with Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, well, we want to do this political action thriller, but we have Jackie Chan available, so let's throw in some kung fu and some...
Right,
I didn't ever connect with the idea, and I will spoil this. I apologize.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. I'll lower my hand when it's done, okay?
Spoiler.
Okay,
the bomb-making aspect of the characters, I didn't ever connect with that, and it felt like it was completely unnecessary.
Sure.
It felt like it would have been a more visceral, realistic threat if Jackie Chan had actually kind of in a way been the bad guy in the story and had just really been out for vengeance and attacks. And I was hoping that's the direction they were going in. So spoilers are done.
Spoilers are done.
Yeah, no more spoilers. But that's really what I was hoping to get. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. They're going to make him the bad guy?
Right.
Like that would have been really cool to me because I don't think I've ever seen him really function in that fashion.
Like just more of like a revenge, like, you know, I don't care if I'm a bad guy, I just need to get
exactly.
revenge
And that's kind of where I thought they were going after. Right. But it was the buildup was so slow.
Yeah.
And it took so long to there's that initial, and I don't know about you, but the audio and the music was very soft. And there was just something, it might have been the theater that I was in, but
maybe
there was nothing that the music was doing for me. There was nothing that the sound design was doing for me. It just all felt very kind of flat in that regard. But I really thought that after that initial kind of spark that ignites everything, you know, that's in the credits, that's not a spoiler, but you know, his daughter dies. I thought that was going to like boom, like Jason Bourne identity. Like as soon as he's like engaged, then it's like full force going revenge. And that's kind of what I thought they were going to go with.
Right.
But instead it's like you said, they spent all this time with Pierce Brosnan and he's like kind of a terrorist.
Yeah.
I'm not spoiling that, hopefully. But
no, it's not.
Yeah. But like he's like kind of a good guy, kind of a bad guy, but like people are doing bad things to him, but he's kind of doing bad things to other people, but he has good intentions. So you're just like, what am I supposed to make of you? Who?
Right.
Like, who are you? There you go. I tied it in. Who are you?
One of my favorite, there is a scene between Pierce Brosnan's nephew and Jackie Chan that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. But as far as the negatives are concerned, it's just the movie was so ambiguous as to what it was trying to be and what it was trying to accomplish. I like the way that the movie resolved, but the problem with this movie too is, what was the runtime on this? It was like 2 hours or something.
I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, look it up. But I felt myself like looking at my clock, like, wait, how much time we got left in this thing?
Yeah, I was kind of looking at my phone too, just kind of like, how long are we going on
I felt
here?
like it went on and on and on. I was like, when is this going to wrap up? I'm like, I know there's a part in the preview that I saw that hasn't happened yet.
It's almost 2 hours, 1 hour and 54 minutes.
Okay. It felt longer than that to me.
Yeah.
I felt like it was like a 2:15 movie. Anyways, it felt too long. It was just ambiguous, like it didn't know where it was going. It wasn't clear on some of the motivations of like Pierce Brosnan's character. I felt like he did a great job for what he had, but his character like motivations was just, it was a little bit weird, and some of the side stuff that was happening, there was a lot of little side plots.
Yeah.
Also, another negative, there were, at first, it took me a really long time to put all the faces to all the people that he's talking about.
Yeah.
So, like, there's too many bad guys that it wanted you, and too many people just in the story, it wanted you to focus on.
Yeah.
So that, like, especially, there's a group of bad guys at the beginning, you see.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, these are going to be the bad guys, and then you don't see them till the end of the movie again, almost. And
right.
so you're basically like, wait, who are those people again? Were they not important people that I need to remember? And people were just kind of generic people that you didn't.
Right.
They wanted you to focus on too many people.
The way that I almost felt like I would have enjoyed this movie more is that if I understood maybe some of the extents to which the actual relationship between Irish people and Englishmen is such in a bad place.
The history,
like
right?
the history there.
Yeah.
Like if I actually understood the relevance of there being these terrorist acts that these Irish people are committing against, Britain, British people, then maybe I would have related to it a bit stronger and a bit better and been more pulled in by Pierce Brosnan's kind of like should he, shouldn't he type tension. But because I don't know about that, because they didn't relate it well enough in the story, it all just came across, like you're saying, like weak sauce. I didn't know who I should or shouldn't be not voting for, but in a sense voting for, like who am I supporting in this endeavor? And because there wasn't, I will say, to me, it didn't feel like as long. It felt boring because of what they were portraying I wasn't interested in. It didn't feel long though, because after a certain point, I think they did an effective enough job of putting in at least a little bit of action, kind of peppered it in certain spots. But I was still really wanting, like the way that I felt about this, the when I went into it, and I don't know if we mentioned this in our coming soon, but it was looking and feeling like a Bourne Identity movie with Jackie Chan.
Kind of, yeah.
And that's not what I got. I will say though,
I was feeling more Taken.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Whatever those British special forces people were, they were like legit.
They were cool.
They were the best part.
The way they ended the movie was pretty cool.
Yeah, and whenever they did something, they were always super effective with it.
Yeah.
And they just nailed it.
They were in it for like 5 minutes.
Right, and they're kind of peppered in. It felt like the film was just not really sure tonally what it was trying to do.
Yeah.
And where it was trying to go. And so that was just ineffective. And I was very disappointed in that sense with it. So I was wanting to rate this one higher. Do you want to do our ratings and then we can do like a brief little kind of
I don't
spoilery
sure
talk.
Let's rate this thing.
I gave this one a 72 C-.
Okay.
So
no, that's actually kind of what I was thinking. I was at 71. So
okay. Wow, I'm actually higher.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I should go lower.
Joel loves The Foreigner, you guys.
now I feel like I need to like revise it and go down to like 70. No, I'm at a 65, no, Matt.
You said 72. You're stuck there forever. That's your number.
Darn it. I'll stick with it. I stand by what I said. So
do you want to do a spoiler thing?
Yeah, we'll do like a brief one. Just I think so that way we can like freewheel some talk about some stuff without worrying about what people think. So if you're listening to this, you don't want any spoilers for The Foreigner, then I would say go ahead and turn this one off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
Well, not everybody. I actually thought I actually was wanting Jackie Chan to die.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But it would have made the sacrifice that he left behind for his kids and his family, I think, more palpable, like that martyr type feeling.
Yeah.
Whereas with this one, it's kind of like he just went out there. This is what I felt really bad about. But I'm like, literally, Jackie Chan, you're going and basically just torturing these people that you know nothing about.
Yeah.
At that point, he didn't know if Pierce Brosnan was guilty of anything.
Oh, so frustrating. Like,
he's murdering basically his workers and people that have been hired to do this stuff. And that's where, as well, like I said, I don't want to hear what you were going to say because you're obviously very frustrated there. But if I had known more of the history here of what the IRA had done in the past, then maybe I would have been more on the ride for like Jackie Chan going and just doing all this horrible stuff to people that are, in all intents and purposes, in his mind, innocent.
Yeah.
That might have information that could help him get revenge. But that's why I was like, just give Jackie Chan that revenge story, that sacrifice. Sorry.
And he could have started a movie called The Revengers.
There you go.
So every time they said IRA, I was thinking like a Roth IRA.
I was too. I worked in finance for a couple of years, so I was always thinking that. And
I was like, what does this financial thing have to do? Anyways, so my problem was Pierce Brosnan's character is a reformed IRA guy, and he's on the up and up. He's essentially a good guy.
Right, he's trying, and he even says that.
And
he's
Jackie Chan is giving him a hard time. He doesn't know who did the bombing.
The worst thing that he's done up until the point that you knew that he was behind, because it turns out, surprise, surprise, shocker, that he's caused the bombings to take place.
Right.
Although he didn't want anybody killed.
Right.
He did want terrorist type activities to happen, but he didn't want anybody killed.
Right.
So surprise, surprise there. But up until the point that was revealed, which was still pretty obvious, the worst thing he'd done is like cheat on his wife.
Right.
But it turns out that was a setup.
Yeah.
And his wife was cheating on him.
I know.
With his nephew. So I'm like, Pierce Brosnan's like the best person in this.
Yeah, I know.
And yet he's getting treated the worst. And you definitely feel bad for Jackie Chan because of the fact that, you know, basically his entire family has been murdered through different situations and different horrible means. Like, you definitely feel bad for him. But that's why I was like, I would have been on board for a revenge story then, because you would have been torn. You would have been like, I understand where Jackie Chan is coming from, but he's doing these horrible things. Yeah. And it would have been a different side for Jackie Chan. And I felt like his acting, I'm sorry, but there wasn't he was flat to me most of the film. I mean, the scene, I think the deepest I saw him get was when he comes back after his daughter has died and he's kind of going through things and he kind of sits there and he's crying. But other than that, after that, he shows no real like extent of emotion beyond just, and maybe he was going for this like I'm depressed and sad type thing.
Sure.
But I wanted some rage. I wanted some anger and some vengeance, you know? Like, I didn't get that from him. And Pierce Brosnan, I did not think his accent was very good in this. I felt like he kind of slipped into a bit more of a British type.
Can you do it better?
Better
Irish
I'm
accent.
not saying I can do it better.
I can't do it at all, usually.
But the point of the matter is that he still sounded British to me, and I'm not being paid to be I'm not being paid to be an Irishman. I'm not being paid anything. Where's my payment, Matt?
Okay. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's in the mail.
So what I think this movie stands on is the action sequences and the cinematography. Was there an action sequence that you thought was...
I like the one in the woods with the nephew. That's what I was referring to earlier.
Yeah.
With Jackie Chan and nephew. How it ends with like the knife and it like just barely like in, or the stick or whatever. The branch,
I didn't get how... So there was moments where things would be intelligently orchestrated, but then there would be other moments where it felt like they were being really stupid. It didn't make sense to me how that translated into him being tied up, because he's laying on top of him and he's got a knife or like a piece of wood under his chin. How did he manage to get him up and like hog tie him?
Science, Joel.
And then additionally, if this guy's like a trained military expert and he manages to track this guy down, then the first thing he does is run right up to, instead of sitting there waiting, like he made stupid mistakes. And then
he was just trying to go back to his aunt again.
He gets disarmed. Yeah, probably. He gets disarmed and he decides to run after Jackie Chan instead of like taking like 10 steps back and grabbing this like assault rifle that he has. Or
I thought someone was going to get impaled on one of the branches for a while, but that didn't happen.
Yeah. And because of like because of the fact that you didn't really know who was the good or the bad person, anytime Jackie Chan blew something up and like injured somebody, I always felt like, well, that's kind of rude. Like they're just paid people that are just there to protect their boss, and you're like hurting these poor people.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so let's talk about the English Special Forces people. They like torture the lady and then they just shoot her at the end.
They were legitimately what I was wanting the IRA to be.
Right.
Because the IRA should have been that brutal. They should have been that mean and intense, but that was horrible because it was really sad. I was watching all of and this is standard, so this isn't like a whole sex thing, but like all the guys die.
Yeah.
They all get killed by Jackie Chan. I'm like, of course the girl's going to survive because they never show in a movie. It's just a normal thing. It's just like the guys never kill the girls. That's just the way it is. And I was like, oh, so she's going to survive and she's going to tell them where to find the bomb. But then she gets it so much worse than the poor guys. I was like, ooh, the torture and then and just kill her.
Well, she was kind of a nasty person.
The funny, and it was sad though, that final scene I didn't connect with at all.
Nope. When
they're running through the airport, I actually found it almost comedic. I mean, I feel like if you take that scene at the very end where the special force police officer guy or just the police officer guy,
what was the guy's name? Is like,
I don't know.
Is like Ivan or something?
I didn't even get why he was in the film for most of it. And then I was like, as soon as you figure it out, you're like, oh, okay. But the scene where the police officer has the laptop and he's like, what? You're the guy? Where's the laptop? And he grabs it and he's like running and it was like people are jumping. I'm like, if you put comedic music to this, I feel like this would have actually played out like a comedy sketch where he's like running and everybody's
throw the Home Alone like airport music and run, dude,
something like that.
Gotta make it to
something like that. Even circus music. I might do that when the film comes out. I'm just going to do it and just put music to it and see. Or if one of our watchers or listeners wants to give that a shot and send it over.
Do it.
If you can find. But see, then I'm encouraging
that's all good.
Illegal downloading.
That's, you know what? I don't know. That's it. That's all I got, man.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for like 20 minutes now. So I think that's about all it deserves.
Probably good.
Yeah. So any final things you want to say? Any final thoughts?
No, it's a little let down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was let down too.
That's it.
And I was somewhat begrudgingly saying that I probably, even though I don't like horror, should have checked out Happy Death Day.
I will probably check that out still.
Yeah, but hopefully we can hear your thoughts on that when you get a chance to check it out. And I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know. Would you like to see another Jackie Chan kind of this style?
If Jackie Chan is the main character, yes.
If he's the main character,
sure.
It gets it done. Cool. Awesome. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off. I want to give you a couple ways to get connected, though, here again at the end of the podcast. Some great ways to do so. RealReviewMedia.com, which is our website. Definitely check things out on there. We've also got our Facebook and well, I'll start with Facebook, which is facebook.com/RealReviewMedia. Then Instagram and Twitter, which are both at RealReviewMedia. And then we would definitely love to hear from you, our watchers and our listeners, hear what your thoughts were. Maybe you love this Jackie Chan movie. It's getting decent audience reviews.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, when I was leaving the theater, there was a boyfriend and girlfriend or a husband and wife couple, and they were like, he was like, I like that. And she was like, yeah, I liked it too. I was like, I'm going to go, no. I'm going to shout like, liar, you are wrong. But yeah.
You can't have your own opinions.
So, but yeah, subjectively, maybe you did like this film. Maybe there's reasons that you think it was good. So let us know. Choose an email, drop us a line at realreviewmedia@gmail.com. So that's awesome. Anything else, Matt?
Nah.
Nope. All right. Well then, it's been real.
It's been real.